It's a battle of the big screens in this, the LG G3 versus the new iPhone 6 Plus. We have two distinctive designs at play here. On the one hand, Apple's well-known form factor with the large circular home button and also the rounded corners, but there's more of a curve on the sides as well, though the front and back are going to be completely flat. On the other hand, the LG G3 with its rear-mounted power button and volume controls. Now, the G3 is probably the more efficient design, simply because it's more compact and a little bit lighter than the Apple iPhone, even if the two share the same display size. The front of the G3 as well also comes with almost all screen with just a plastic band on the bottom, and the tapered edges are free of any distractions, making it feel even more compact because of that signature button layout on the back. The iPhone 6 Plus is more of a centimeter taller and 23 grams heavier, so you will probably use this device with two hands most of the time, especially because of its larger size overall. The iPhone's aluminum unibody gives it a luxurious and more premium feel, but the G3 isn't far behind with its own brushed metal finished plastic. Both of these phones can be considered upgrades when it comes to the displays, because the G3 was the first mainstream smartphone to get the Quad HD display, while Apple brought up the iPhone 6 Plus resolution to Full HD. But the G3 still holds the lead in terms of overall pixel density, but with that said, the difference in the crispness is likely to go unnoticed by plenty of general users. Both of these are LCD screens, and while Apple did use a bit of extra technology to improve the viewing angles, you can see that they're both pretty great on either device. Either way, you're going to have a good time on either display unless you really want the bleeding edge, in which case the G3 gets the edge. When it comes to performance, it's kind of hard to give a real comparison because obviously we're working with two completely different ecosystems and architectures here. Obviously, the iPhone 6 comes with the in-house custom design processor, this time the updated A8, that should be known for its superb optimization in iOS. But on the other hand, the LG G3 has one of the fastest processors available of any Android device, the Snapdragon 801, which should on paper prove to be more powerful than the A8, but it's safe to say that users won't really notice that huge of a difference given the two different ecosystems. Now, the iPhone 6 Plus comes with 16, 64, or 128 gigabytes of storage, but the G3 is able to have 16 gigabytes of storage with micro SD cards that will expand it. The batteries are almost the same in terms of capacity, but the G3 has the advantage of allowing it to be removable underneath that cover. But the iPhone 6 Plus does feature a Touch ID fingerprint sensor embedded in the home button, which is pretty nice for quick and convenient security. But one more thing that is worth mentioning is the long overdue presence of an NFC chip in the iPhone 6 Plus, though it's only limited to Apple Pay for now. Powerful cameras accompany both of these devices. The iPhone 6 Plus comes with an 8-megapixel rear camera of the previous generation, though Apple touts an all-new sensor that should do much better. Not only do you get an f2.2 aperture lens, faster autofocus due to a tag called focus pixels, but you also get optical image stabilization. On the video side, you can capture slow-motion shots of up to 240 frames per second and 720p resolution, which is nice. And on the front, you also get an f2.2 lens as well. The G3 offers a 13-megapixel larger sensor and is the only smartphone to come with a laser-assisted fast-focusing system that we thought was quite great, but it also comes with the signature optical image stabilization that LG was a bit of a pioneer of when it came to the original phones of yesteryear. But now the iPhone has always been known for pretty good camera capabilities, and we will take a look at some camera shots in the future, but for now we will say that both of these cameras should be pretty good competition for one another. In terms of software, we do get the iOS 8 in the iPhone 6. That is not necessarily the big overhaul that iOS 7 was, but it does bring some useful features to the table. Mainly third-party support for keyboards, widgets in the notification dropdown, and a new health application that I thought was pretty robust, and also continuity, which allows you to have a sync among all Apple products. Overall, the iPhone 6 Plus does bring a little bit of a breath of fresh air to an OS that had become stale at one point, and with this new direction that it has gone to and the new features now, it does look like it has a pretty full-featured set. But when you're talking about full-featured sets, the LG G3 comes with the GUI, which got a pretty massive upgrade, not only in its looks, but also with the different features like the addition of dual window for the G3, and also smart applications that allow you to do things with the keyboard, clean up the phone easily, and even have a smart notice assistant on top of all things like the Q-Slide multitasking, and of course, every little feature that is still available from original versions of the GUI. As far as software suites go, yes, the G3 might have a little bit more capability, but the iPhone 6 Plus does still have quite a few features that have just been introduced that do make it a little bit closer on the edge. And so there you have it for this look at the iPhone 6 Plus and the LG G3. Now these are both big screen behemoths, and for users of the iPhone ecosystem, the Plus size is probably going to be a little bit staggering, but it does make the new iPhones a little bit more akin to the Android ecosystem flagships. Whether or not one is better than the other is really up to you, and it's going to be up to you to figure out which features in either ecosystem are better for you. So stay tuned to Android Authority for all of the best coverage, including our upcoming comparisons. We're doing even more with the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus here, with all of the Android flagships, because we are Android Authority and we are your source for all things Android.